Right, hello students. So basically in this video we're just going to do a quick run through of the topics in terms of um, the things that you have missed out on, so that you guys can catch up as best as possible with understanding the information. Alright, so that you won't be necessarily too much far behind where your lesson is concerned. So we're going to look at the first topic, appropriation and pastiche. Basically, what I've asked the students to do is to define those words there: appropriation, pastiche, grade, scale, proportion, and imitate. Alright, so one of the best ways you guys can go about doing this definition search is you can go to Google, and when you type in, you want to ensure that you type in the word and you put at the end definition and you put in art. Alright, so you want to put that section there, and based on the information that you see there, it will indicate to you something about art, and the word there for us to think about is images, right? So you know that we're on the right track. And if you read it through, it says that appropriation in art and art history, that's one of the also obvious indication that we're on the right track. It speaks on, refers to the practice of artists using pre-existing objects or images. That means that it speaks about images that already existed. All right, so the first step would have been to define those words. So you want to define the rest of the words using that approach that I just showed you. The second instruction says that you're supposed to create a pastiche or an appropriation of one of the images that I sent. Now I sent to you guys two images, one with the girl with the pearl earring and the other is the Mona Lisa image, right? So now we're going to basically first try to understand what appropriation is about. Alright, so you want to go to the PowerPoint presentation, which talks about learning from the masters, and we break down what appropriation is. We have that definition there that I just showed you on Google. So basically, as I said, it speaks about using pre-existing objects or images and you do transformation to it. So you do little transformation. So basically, when you look at the example here, you'll see the original work on the left and you see the appropriation on the right. Alright, so the original work there, that's how it normally looks from the artist made it, right? Now, when you are doing an appropriation, you basically edit the work, but you do little edits. So you're able now to see that the person here just simply added a mask and then simply added a glove. That's a little change, and the background was a little bit lightened, so you can see that the person did changes there, right? Now pastiche, on the other hand, is when the artist copies the style of another work or that combines various distinct styles together in one work. So basically you can see that a lot of work here was done, whereas the original work for the pastiche is on the left and the pastiche is on the right. Right, so you can see that the person did some changes in the background, added some colors, some purple, some blues, and then on the subject itself, which is the girl with the pearl earring, there was a lot of color added, right? A lot of color added to the person. So some edits were done basically to create a pastiche. And basically that is what you do when you create an appropriation or a pastiche. You make changes or you do some edits to the original. Alright, so basically that's what the assignment is about, and that is what you do for the first class. Right, so let's go back now to see what's next on the list. So we have here critical analysis. Oh, the instruction says we're supposed to write the information from the PowerPoint presentation. Right, so we're going to click on that, and you want to now find out what is critical analysis. So basically this is when you critique an artwork, right? And this is when an artist take the time out to talk about the work in 4 steps. And we're going to look at those 4 steps. Step number 1 is when you look at the obvious, right? And step number 2 is when you analyze the work. Step number 3 is when you interpret the work, and step number 4 is when you make a judgment call. So let's quickly go through what is it that you do when you look at the obvious. Now, looking at the obvious, you try to state what kind of work it is. If it's a painting, a drawing, is it a sculpture, is it a mixed media artwork? You want to state all of those things, right? Also, you want to state if you're seeing an artist name, if you're seeing what the artwork name is also, right? You also want to try to see the colors. You want to state the colors that you notice in the work. You don't want to say what things look like in the artwork, right? You just want to state the colors. You want to stick to things like blue, green, I see purple, I see the shape of a square, I see the circles, I see the name of the work, a girl with the pearl earring. I also see that the artwork is a painting. It looks like a painting. It also looks as if this artwork was done on canvas, right? So you want to say those things. Next step is analyzing the work, and this is where you start to say what things look like, right? So for example, let's use the work A Girl with the Pearl Earring. You want to state that it looks like a girl is sitting, or you know that the person is sitting. Well, from the angle in which the person is, it looks as if she's a little bit slouched, which means that she's probably sitting. Also, you want to say that the girl, or you know is a girl, you see here, right? You see here, and the face structure looks feminine, as well as there's a protruding section of her that might look like she has breasts, right? Also, it looks like she have on lipstick, right? So those are the things you want to say when you are analyzing the work. You want to say also she has in a pearl earring. How you know it's a pearl earring? It looks round and white, right? And it's attached to the ear of the person. So those are the things you want to say when you're analyzing the work. Now the third step, you want to decide on an interpretation, right? And this is where now you want to say, all right, what's the meaning of the work? What could this work mean? You could possibly say now, using the girl with the pearl earring again, this person is doing a photo shoot, right? Or you know it's a photo shoot. Normally, because of the background, it's dark, the person looks stationary as if no action is happening, and it just looks as if the person is there waiting for some form of capturing is done, right? So the person then is doing a photo shoot, or is staying still for somebody to do a recording where drawing or painting is concerned, to capture the likeness of the person. That could be an interpretation. Now, the fourth and final step is when you make a judgment call. Is it a good work or is it not a good work? You don't want to necessarily say, I don't like it or I like the work, and leave it there. You want to state, all right, is it a good work and why? It's a good work because the information was clear to you, right? And everything that you spoke on, it was very straightforward. So you were able to see that it was a woman. You were able to see the information that you garnered in terms of stating an interpretation, right? So you just want to basically give information as to whether it is a good work and why, right? And then now we want to try to do an example here. Whereas number 1, you are stating the obvious. So let's state the obvious. All right, this work here, it looks as if it's a painting. It also looks as if there's no name there. There's no artist name as well. So we can't state anything else apart from it looks like a painting. It also shows us a lot of browns in the work. It shows us some blue areas, some green areas, right? So those are the obvious things that we see there. Let's look at number 2. Let's analyze the work. All right, it looks like a female. A female is sitting based on the fact that she's kind of slouched again. How you know it's a female? The long hair, right? The protruding area on her chest, which shows that she has breasts, right? Based on her hand posture, how she holds her hand. Also, that could be an indication it's a female. All right, let's decide on an interpretation here. Oh, one more thing. We can analyze that there is a mask based on the fact that something is covering her mouth and her nose, and it looks like what we know now as a mask. Also, there's gloves on her hand based on the fact that we can't see her skin or her nails. Right, so let's decide on an interpretation. This work could be depicting to us safety from COVID-19 based on the fact that that's the area or the era that we're in now. Right, so it's depicting safety, right, based on the fact that we see the mask and we see the glove. All right, so how can we make a judgment call here now? The information was straightforward. The mask, the glove, that was very straightforward in helping us to understand the concept of the work, right? So we were able to know the information that was presented and we were able to know it well. So those are the things that we do when we critically analyze our work.